There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
Oh, what's up, and welcome into episode number 101 of the Program Guys podcast. My name is Mason Prince, joined with you as always by Ryan Tyson, Mark Hall, Patrick Kurtzberger, no Matt Gann this week. Today is Thursday, December 14th. Be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Trying to hit 2,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. Costs you $0, folks. Helps us out more than you know. For free, you can get all the Program Guys podcast information and content. You can follow us on all of our social media at Program Guys with a Z, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff. Also at programguys.com. Some awesome movie reviews by Ryan on the YouTube channel. Check those out if you get a chance. He's convinced me to go see, I'm blanking on the movie, Napoleon.
There it is.
Napoleon.
I thought you were going to say like a different movie that I haven't done. I was going to laugh.
Nah, we'll get into it. We'll get into it later. You did tweet out a movie trailer today. I want to see Civil War. That looks sick. Yeah. Yeah, gentlemen, how we living? How we doing, man?
Hey,
up and down.
Up and down?
Up and down. What's up?
Up and down with Oklahoma news. You know, wake up happy in the morning, get a little sad in the afternoon, wake up, and then all of a sudden you get happy again, and then that's just real. Those are my feelings.
Real whiplash.
It really is whiplash right now.
It is.
Mark's on mute.
But hey, and you know what? It's sad because it's taking away from the awesome bowl games we have coming up.
I know we got a lot to get to today. Mark, just so you're clear, you were on mute that whole time. I don't know if you knew that or not. So it's fine. I don't know what he's doing, man, but he's crushing it. Go, Mark.
No,
still on mute, man. This is unreal. Mark, you're still on mute.
I don't think he can hear us either.
This is he hears me. He just can't. It's all right. He'll figure it out in a little bit.
He'll figure it out.
We'll get there, baby.
Yeah, he'll figure it out. Is your cord undone? Did you undo your cord on your mic? Look, a lot to get to. Yeah, we got you now. A lot to get to.
Wow, I don't know what I'm going here, but yeah, it's good. All right, continue.
Okay, we're falling apart. Okay, guys, a lot to get to today.
We're like 5 minutes in.
I know. So there's a lot that we're gonna touch on today. So be able to stick with us through the whole show. We got tons to touch on. But first, guys, I want to start with the massive news. The really the biggest news is the Caden Green saga that continues to develop and evolve. I'm not up to date on like every single thing that happens. So here's what I do know. He's in the transfer portal. He was in the portal as of yesterday. He, according to, I want to give credit where it's due, Gabe Eichard and Teddy Lehman's podcast, it was about a money scenario, from what I understand, an NIL deal that OU was told to match. OU matched, and Caden still walked out of town in the transfer portal. So I think that's kind of what we know as of now. Like, Green wasn't at practice yesterday for bowl prep. He wasn't at practice today. I can guarantee you he wasn't.
None of the players knew.
None of the players knew.
They interviewed him after practice.
Just kind of a weird thing, guys. Your thoughts, Patrick?
Yeah, he wanted a specific number. Our NIL collective matched that number, and he still walked out the door. Seems like he's ghosting everyone. His answers have been talk to my dad. His dad's not answering the phone.
His dad deleted his Twitter.
It's
right?
not a situation. It's not, hey, and this might not be a reflection of him. Could be a reflection of those around him, his father, blah, 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 blah. But This kind of, the way they're going about their business here, is not really a player I need on the football team I'm rooting for.
It definitely doesn't give me the vibe of a guy that Brent Venables wants on the roster.
No.
Let alone Patrick Kurtzberger. Mark, I feel like you have some thoughts. Jump in there while your mic's still on.
No, it's one of those things where it's just like the class as we've built it is still there, right? It's all there. Now we're looking at, okay, does Dominic McKinley make a change? Do some of these other guys make a change, right? we're in a really weird spot where Oklahoma football has done a great job recruiting guys, getting people on board, and also the championship to get, sorry, not championship, but the competition to get in those last few like championship spots. It's heavy. It's heavy, right? You have to be that good. You have to be that good, and Oklahoma was not that good. I don't think Oklahoma deserves the spot.
I don't know what's happening. Ryan,
What?
Ryan, go ahead, jump in.
What do you
Caden
mean?
Green.
Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. I think this kid is, how old is he? 18, 19. He's a
Yeah, I
freshman.
mean, he's
Young.
He
about to
he
finish
had
his freshman
he
year.
had everything going for him, right? It was he was going to start next year. He already started 7 games this year. He was going to start next year. From what we've heard, again, I don't think we have any like primary sources here, but
We're all
from what we've heard, this is a money situation that they feel that he is deserving of X amount that was then given, or
offered,
so
at least.
people
Yeah.
say, it was given, and then he still entered his name in transfer portal because maybe he felt like he fit in somewhere else, right? I think the two murky things here for me are, I don't think you probably go to Oklahoma with a number unless you have a number behind you that you like have already heard about. I'm thinking of like when people go for jobs and they're like, oh, they go interview for a job, they have a number, and then they go to their current employer and they're like, match this number, right? Technically, that situation is tampering. Are we dealing with a tampering situation here? I cannot confirm. Nobody right now can confirm because no one's going to investigate it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think the situation is messy. I think Patrick made a really good point that if all of this is happening and this is the style that he wants to go with, and this is really what he cares about, is like that money, I don't think that's somebody BV wants on this team. I don't think that's going to help the locker room. It sucks because he's great and our O-line has taken some hits this past week. But like, I think overall at the end of the day, you can't, and especially in today's world, you cannot keep somebody on your team that does not want to be here or that is influenced to go somewhere else by the things that are around him, say his father or his family, whoever it may be. So I think it's a shitty situation. It sucks. But overall, at the end of the day, I think Oklahoma's going to be just fine.
I think they'll be okay. I saw something interesting about Bill Beanbo's like top 5 all-time offensive line recruits, like in terms of like ranking or whatever. And like Andrew Raym was one of them. He's going to the NFL draft. But like the other 4,
Nate Anderson.
The other 4 are like no longer trying to at least be with Oklahoma or have since transferred from Oklahoma. I don't know if that's an indictment on Bill Beanbaugh or an indictment on the Oklahoma program or whatever it is. Nonetheless, it's weird, right? That's your top 5 offensive line guys, and one of them stuck it out all 4 years and was essentially a 4-year starter.
Yeah, I mean, like we're talking about, are we going into kind of like the chatter that has been on like Twitter and everything about?
I mean, we're weaving in and out
on a stick.
Yeah.
We're here now, baby.
I don't go ahead, Brian.
Well, I think it's a lot of the times when we're looking at Bill's successes in the offensive line room, and he's had many, most of the time it's coming from not 4 or 5-star recruits. He's doing pretty incredible things with 3 stars and elevating them to levels. I mean, we're sending 2 guys to the NFL draft this year, right? I mean, like, people forget that we've had this cycle through the offensive line where people are going to the NFL. People are like, we have some of the highest paid offensive linemen in the NFL came from OU, right? I think there's more to this than he can't like keep his high level recruits. I think this is bad timing with everything else that's happened with the offensive line over the past year. I think the offensive line improved throughout the year, but they just got hit by 2 people leaving, a couple seniors on there, and then our star stud, who we were like, this is going to be our future, leaving, right? It's bad timing. Everything's kind of happened at once. I don't think this is, it sounds to me like this Caden Green situation is not on Bill, like at all.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand why people are coming for his neck. I think he's been one of our strongest assistant coaches over the past decade. So I don't necessarily understand it, but I feel like people are just reactionary and they want somebody to blame.
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, I'll give you a thought. Like the whole thing is just, I agree. Our performance has been such that if you're an Oklahoma football fan, you should be pleased with the fact that whatever's coming is coming, right? Same time, Ryan, you haven't been pleased with the version of football for 10 weeks, right? Like, it has to be better. It still has to be better.
Are you talking about like, well, like the offensive line needs to be better, and I feel like it got better throughout the year.
Yeah, and we
like,
lost the best player on that line.
But that's, I mean, we expected that to happen. So it's like, it's.
You did not expect Caden Green to leave.
Oh no, I was
one-
talking
he was
about.
talking about.
I was talking about Guyton.
Like
I was talking about
Guyton.
Tyler
Talking about
Guyton.
Guyton.
Okay,
So
I
like,
see.
no,
I
we
see.
didn't expect Green to leave. Like that's what I'm getting at is no, we didn't expect it. But if everything that we've heard is true, there's nothing we could have done about it.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
We
Patrick-
couldn't have helped this.
Patrick,
He was leaving.
Patrick, go ahead.
The
Go
more
ahead.
context we get, the more it's clear this is not on Bill Bedenbaugh. We had a TikTok that went viral, over 40,000 views currently, and a lot of the comments.
Hey, Patrick.
A lot of the comments are coming from Colorado Buffalo fans, and they just hired Phil Lodeholt, who recruited Caden Green. And if there's any program in the country who would tamper a bit and then tell all the athletes to shut up after the tampering is done, it would be Coach Prime's staff. So my theory is Caden Green is going to Colorado. See you later.
And the tampering is a real thing that people are online chattering about. Again, I mean, we don't have any way to substantiate any of those rumors, and I don't think anybody does at this point. Probably won't ever, because if you're holding your breath waiting on the NCAA to do something or like look into this, I can promise you they're not. They turned their back on this whole NIL thing and said, you guys deal with it, and it's everybody else's problem. They're not going to do anything. At some point,
Y'all be the adults, we're not going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I think the
Just
conferences
we're abdicating the responsibility. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pathetic. And whether it is tampering or not, I can promise you the NCAA is going to do nothing about it. And Caden Green's going to go wherever the most money is, and he won't be the only one. He won't be the only one who is locked in at a university and behind closed doors, people talking to people's dads or people's agents with numbers that, hey, if you come to, and this is just an example, if you come to Miami, we'll pay you X. I know you're at
Is
Florida
that just
State
an
right
example?
now.
Is that just an example?
I mean, maybe.
I think it is, but it's one of those things where it's like, man, it was good to be an OU offensive lineman for a certain amount of time. But if the cash is out there elsewhere, man, he's going to go for it. It's like, I don't blame him for doing that. The market's not there on the back end, on the front end, to be an OU offensive lineman, right?
Yep. Let us know down below in the comments what you think about the whole Caden Green situation. Your thoughts on that. We read every single one of your comments, like interacting with you guys as well. Okay, some other massive news. On Monday, I believe it dropped. Danny Stutsman staying with the Oklahoma Sooners for at least, or for one more year, not at least. It'll be for one more year. Danny returning, Billy Bowman returning, Danny announcing his recommitment to Oklahoma in a video with the Boz in Barry Switzer's fur coat. If you didn't know,
it was pretty ridiculous. It was
it's Danny to a T.
It is Danny to a T.
All it was missing was a samurai sword. Truly. So, good for Danny. I'm excited. Oklahoma fans should be excited. He's the leader of your defense. I think for this team to be the best version of themselves, Danny Stutsman at linebacker is the move that needs to be made. Could OU have survived without him? Yeah, they wouldn't have been a better football team. I think Danny staying makes you a better football team, especially heading into the SEC with the schedule that we now know that we'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, Danny staying is huge. Patrick, your thoughts on Danny?
Also, check out Pat and Matt dropped a emergency pod on
Thank you. Yes.
Specifically on Monday. So it was great.
The easiest 9-minute watch you'll have.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm not going to comment. I mean, besides the fact that it's great. It was great. I'm ecstatic.
Yeah. Mark, quick thoughts on Danny at all?
We're very lucky. We were going to be okay if it was non-Danny, but it was like JK,
Kip
Kobe
Lewis.
McKenzie, Kip Lewis. Like, we'd have made it work. This is a nice version of not having to make it work, of having a guy who is a lock, steady star in that spot. And then everyone else needs to make it work, right? That's Kip Lewis. That's Kobe McKenzie. That's where it comes down to. Jaren Kanak, you start with your best player, and then let's let the rest of the guys fill in. Now that we know that Danny Stutsman is back, that's where it all starts.
Ryan, what you got, brother?
Hey, no one is happier about this news than Jaren Kanak. He got his buddy gets to stay, his samurai partner. You know, I'm sure he's thrilled. But yeah, I think I agree with everything that you guys said. He's the leader of our defense. We had talked frequently running up to the end of the season that OU needed to do everything in their power to get him to stay and to get Billy Bowman to stay. And they did it. That's exactly what they needed to do. And I'm really excited to see this defense with the class we have coming in, with the freshman studs that we already have that are going to be another year experienced. With some of the tough news that we've had recently on offense with, Caden Green and everything like that. It's really nice to feel going into next year, into the SEC, that our defense is the priority and that it's going to be stable. Yep. Or is it at least as stable as it possibly could be? So I'm happy about it. You probably won't find anybody in the Oklahoma fandom who's not happy about it. So
yeah, for sure. I think the timeline was Danny went into the office on Friday and was like, yeah, I'm leaving. And then I think by Saturday, Brent had him convinced he was staying. I believe that timeline. That's how the timeline works out.
I think he talked to Billy too, which I think helped because I guess apparently that Danny got a grade of like first or second round for the draft. Personally, I think that's a little high.
So do I, but hey, credit to him.
And if he indeed got that grade, I understand the desire to want to go to the draft. So something must have happened either with the discussion with BV or the discussion with Billy, where he changed his mind, and he's allowed to do that. So
yep. Let us know down below in the comments your thoughts on Danny Stutsman returning to the Oklahoma Sooners for next season in 2024, first year in the SEC. Deion Burks commits to OU from Purdue. He's a transfer wide receiver. Good get for OU to a wide receiver room that's going to have – it's funny. We talked about not having returning production coming into this season, and now going into next season, I feel like it's a complete 180. Like you're getting a lot of production back, and then you're adding a guy who produced in Big Ten football at Purdue coming into that wide receiver room as well. Emmett Jones, shout out to him. Just dude knows how to recruit, man, for sure. So I'm excited to see what he brings to this team.
Emmett Jones stays recruiting, man. But yeah, this feels like what year 3 of Brent Venables should feel like. Right, we've got these returning guys now on the offensive side of the ball as well that are super exciting. The wide receiver room looks really good. I would argue that it's not super experienced, as some others may tell you, but there's a lot of good players in that room and a lot of good potential.
Love it.
Nice one, Pat.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else before we move on?
Yeah, just real fast. I mean, it's one of those things where like agreed with everything Patrick said, and also the opportunity only comes so often. So we need to make sure we are taking advantage of every time that like it matters things are at OU. It matters that like we are winning this battle because like no one alerted me that we were going to lose Caden Green, right? But you need to be on top of these things, and it's larger than just what's the what's the what's the call? What's the draw? Why are we calling this like a multiple you know, I don't need to play this long ass game to get out of the game. I'm out of the game.
No, that's the thing. Well, no, when you have Jalil Farouk at practice saying, you know, he's not 100% sure he's going to stay, and you got Emmett Jones like, hey, I'm just going to keep recruiting because if that's answers you're getting me in practice, I'm going to be playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't stop.
Doesn't stop. Ryan, anything to add before we move on?
Sorry.
This is just art, man. I can't. I love it, man.
Here's the thing. It's a victory. I think the other teams that were leading here, or team specifically, was Texas. You love a victory over Texas. I mean, they're losing their two best wide receivers, and they were after this guy to replace that. You know, we're arguably losing our best receiver in Drake Stoops, but I love Drake to death. He's no Worthy or A.J. Mitchell. And like, that's a big win. Like, you want those things, right? I think like if we're just talking about the wide receiver room, he's coming into an already stacked room, bringing more experience. And that's a good thing. And like, I'm never going to say no to that. And I love that we're still hungry for that, right? It still goes back to that first thing that we talked about, the Venables, like the entire Venables regime feels like we're going to bring in the best. And if you want to play, be the best. Like that's, and I feel like they're doing that here. They're like, we have a lot of wide receivers, prove yourself. Right.
I agree with that so strongly. And also I'm so afraid of the offensive line.
That's the kicker here is like JA's like Jackson Arnold is new. Who the hell knows what's going to happen with the offensive line? Are these wide receivers, even if they get open and even if they get space, are people actually going to, is he going to be able to throw to him? I don't know the answer to that. I don't think we will know the answer to that until next year, but we have talent back there. It's there. So
I would expect them, you know, Brent says all the time, like the transfer portal, they don't want to rely on it. On the offensive line side, I think they're going to have to rely on it this offseason. I really do. And I think the portal closes in like a week or something like that. I can't remember the timing of it. But I would expect OU to try to make a move for an offensive lineman. Also, someone in the transfer portal, Samuel Franklin, Tennessee Martin running back, 223 carries, over 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns for UT Martin. DeMarco Murray stays Cruton as well.
I love it.
Dude's still working. Bringing
1,300 yards. 1,300 yards. Was that just last year? Was that just in?
I believe so. Yeah.
23.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So yeah, he's
awesome.
I think UT Martin FBS or FCS. I can't remember.
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know. Regardless, you like to see running back depth because you're going to see Gavin Sawchuk, Javante Barnes, and the other guys in that room, but it's going to be fun to see some new blood in there, inject some new competition, and I'm sure we'll see more of him throughout the year.
We lost 3 running backs to the transfer portal. Like this is just kind
Talvey
of.
Walker was still at practice, which was interesting.
He was
interesting.
He was still at practice. But I think, you know, he's still, as of what I understand, his name is still in the transfer portal. I don't believe he's taken it out.
So that to me seems like, sorry, Ryan, that to me seems like a mutual kind of like you're in the transfer portal, but you're still our guy.
But yeah.
So you're part of this team until you're not anymore.
Yeah.
Right. That's kind of what that feels like. And that's cool to me. Like that's kind of how it should be. I feel like it shouldn't be like this whole like visceral reaction. Like I'm the transfer portal. I'll see you later. Like Caden Green, like I'm out.
Yeah.
Especially, but yeah,
especially in the case of a Tawi Walker where he kind of knows he's second at OU and we're giving him the opportunity to maybe go be first somewhere else. And he's a good solid second or third going into next year, maybe even first, but also not someone I want taking snaps away from Gavin and Barnes and Taylor Tatum. So
yeah, Taylor Tatum is a name. Yeah,
Tatum was coming in.
Taylor Tatum. Yeah, I completely agree. Okay, that's the transfer portal news. Let us know down below in the comments if you have anything to add on the transfer portal talk. Mark, I'm sorry, I kind of didn't even move to you there. Anything on the running back transfer, bud?
No, you're wonderful. Everyone is right on this stuff. The game gets harder when you leave high school. You go up to the next level, right? And Taylor Tatum is that kind of guy, right? He's the kind of guy that might be able to fill in that spot for a team that truly does need an explosive running back. We can all be very happy as we want about who that running back group is, but once you add Taylor Tatum to it, you just have another dynamic. Like it's what's coming. It's what's coming, and I am confident in that.
It's a really good point. Taylor Tatum, Pat and Mark bring that up. I just totally spaced about it. I don't know why. I feel like I'm just locked in on this roster as it stands right now.
Weird time of year right now.
Yeah, it's super weird. I keep forgetting there's a bowl game. And if you're watching this and you're like, when are you going to talk about the bowl game? Next week. We're not talking about the bowl game this week.
Let's get to it.
Yeah.
We want to win.
Yeah.
We want to win.
Yeah.
We still got 2 weeks. We still got 2 weeks till the bowl game.
Next year or next week, we got you. Okay. Boys, massive news dropping on Wednesday night, right before we hopped on to record this. The full SEC schedule is out. We know Oklahoma's full schedule for the first full season in SEC play. We start out. I'm just going to rattle it off, and then we'll do it. Then we'll go into it. Okay. So you start off with Temple at home, Houston at home, Tulane at home, Tennessee at home, at Auburn, into a bye week. Getting Texas at the Cotton Bowl off the bye week, home against South Carolina, at Ole Miss, home against Maine. Gotta love the late season SEC
baby
bye game. At Missouri, and then another bye week, 2 byes. Ryan had a good explanation for this that I didn't know about. Home against Alabama, and then at LSU to end the season. Bama and LSU to end the season at LSU in Baton Rouge. Going to be a tough swing to end the year, but guys, your first knee-jerk reactions when you see that, Patrick?
Yeah, my knee-jerk reaction. Let me go back to kind of one of our first episodes of the podcast.
Oh, God.
I said it was a hot take, and I said I don't want to go in the SEC because if we stay in the Big 12, we can go to the playoffs more often. Mm-hmm. Here's our schedule, folks. There's a potential 5 losses.
Oh yeah,
we can only have 2 to be in the top 12. That's currently how this season's lining out too. So 2 or 3 losses max to get you in the top 12. We currently have potentially 5 losses. That's what I'm thinking. We may not even be able to make it to the playoffs in the SEC, at least not very easily. And that sucks. And that's why I kind of wish we stayed in the Big 12.
Nope. 12-team playoff means there's that many spots, and Oklahoma makes it.
I tend to agree with Mark. I think you're going to be really competitive. So you look at, like, I'll just rattle it off right here. So I think you got a really, really good chance of going into the Texas game at 5-0.
I agree.
I think that Temple, Houston, Tulane, home against Tennessee, and at Auburn. I understand
Auburn is going to be.
Who the hell knows what Auburn's going to be year after year? Like, I have no idea. But like, you could be 5-0 heading into that Texas game. I think you beat South Carolina. Texas is a toss-up. Let's go ahead, call it a loss for the sake of argument. You're 6-1. I think you can beat Ole Miss on the road. Let's call it a loss for the sake of argument. 6-2, 7-2 against Maine. I think you beat Missouri at Missouri. You're 8-2 at that point, right? 8-2. And then Bama LSU, even if you call them both losses, 8-4, even if you split it 9-3, I'm okay with that. In the first year, I'd be okay with that. And I say that now.
I think importantly, like we're going to put up a fight in that first year. It's not going to be A&M losing all these games in their year in the SEC. We're gonna put up a fight. It's what does that look like when Alabama comes to town, right? Yeah. Like, what's it look like when it really gets down to brass knuckles time? Can we do it? Can we do it? It's going to be in Norman. It will be in Norman. Can we bring enough human beings to fill Campus Corner to overcome the fact that Alabama travels? Like, it's not just Alabama too. I said Alabama, but it's every team, right? We got to be on top of all of it because
Tennessee's going to travel well to start the year.
Yeah.
We got to own Campus Corner. We got to own Campus Corner. Patrick, I need you to lead this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm bringing like 10 people with me from Tennessee, but
doing the opposite of what we
like
need.
Literally the opposite. Wait, here's my actual question. Here's my big question for you, Patrick. What color will you be wearing?
I'll be in red.
Are you sure?
Crimson, whatever you want. Yeah, of course.
I was fully expecting you to say white.
I was fully expecting like
I was going to be white or like black. Like I was just
neutral.
Orange and white from Patrick.
Yeah, but I do want us to do predictions. So Mason, you've got us at 9-3 or 10.
I'm going to say 9-3 for the sake of the exercise. I think 9-3 is.
Are we talking about next season?
Just way too early prediction. Way too early.
It is way too early.
Exactly. Yeah. Just your knee-jerk reaction when you're looking at the schedule. So I have 9-3, and I had the 3 losses of I think the 3 losses are Bama. I think Bama, Ole Miss, and for the sake of argument, let's just call it Texas. So that's my 9-3 Oklahoma schedule. But keep in mind, I have them 5-0 going into the Texas game. I think they win the first 5.
Yeah,
and for those counting, that's your first SEC game. Yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
I guess I can go next. I also have them going 5-0 into Texas, I think. But I think this schedule is brutal the second half. And I think I'm going to go 8-4 because
I can accept that.
I think it's going to be Texas. I think it's going to be Bama. I think it's going to be at LSU. And then one of at Ole Miss or at Missouri. My gut tells me at Missouri because it's kind of a rivalry game-ish back like when the Big 8 was around. And they're just going to be fired up for that game at Columbia. So
the way Drinkwitz has handled it, that's a rivalry.
Yeah.
Eli's handled things. Yeah.
I want to beat the hell out of them.
So do I. But they're going to be fired up too, and that is we've talked about how like OU is more deserving this year of probably a New Year's Six than Missouri is. But Missouri, the turnaround that they've done at Missouri this year is impressive, no matter what anyone says. So
Luther Burden's a real deal.
Yeah, I think
Burden's a real freaking deal.
I think that team is dangerous, and you put them. I don't know. So I'm going to say 8-4. Which I will still be like happy about, right? Like I think we're going to get punched in the mouth this year a little bit, and I think that's okay. Like we have to like get ourselves into the SEC a little bit, and I think I'll be okay with that.
I want to get back to Ryan's point in a second, but Patrick, I want to get your prediction first.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because when you do look at the tough games, we could win all the tough games, and obviously the hardest game is Alabama, but that's in Norman. Like we could easily get out for that game. So sure, there's 4 or 5 potential losses here, but those 4 or 5 potential losses will all be close. It'll really come down to us being able to win close games and good defense, which I have confidence the good defense will definitely be there. So give me 9-3 as well. I think that's reasonable for now.
What are the losses, Pat?
Give me Alabama, Ole Miss,
Alabama in Norman.
Mm-hmm. At Ole Miss. You have
I don't
three
even
more.
like it, man. I don't even like it. You know, give me
It's hard to know. It's hard to know.
Give me 10-2, USC and Bama.
Ooh. Whoa.
Okay.
You think we're gonna lose both home games?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. We're talking about the 2024 regular season,
Are we
right?
talking?
Yeah.
Why you think South Carolina is gonna beat us in Norman?
it's gonna be a
Crazy.
fluke.
We're
It's
smoking
just gonna be a
crack.
fluke.
We're
It's gonna be a
smoking
fluke?
crack. It's fine. Like it's cool, but crack is what we're smoking. We're
All right,
gonna
Mark,
beat South
what do you got?
Well,
What do you
South
got?
Carolina, and I can't tell you like the entire way up and down the schedule, but
Uh-huh.
Shane Beamer's not done enough. I mean, do y'all think he's done enough?
No.
No.
I don't
No.
think so.
And
No.
they're not gonna fire him. He's gonna be there next year.
Yeah, we're gonna walk in
He's
sleep.
gonna be
Yeah, I
there.
think he will. I think he will. Oh, you need to be bringing in better.
Well, yeah. What's your like schedule
No, I
predict?
can't
Do you
be
have
bringing
like a number like a 9-3 or a 10-2 or
What's your record?
anything? What's your record are you predicting?
Gosh darn it, I need to look at the schedule. I mean, like, no, I don't have a number.
Okay.
But the idea that like we're all in this mix and Oklahoma doesn't get to that conference championship, whatever it is, this year. No, we're gonna be there. Of course we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there next year too.
Okay, so that's what,
So-
like
so
11
yeah,
and 1 or 10
I
and
think
1?
it's-
11-1.
I think it's 11 and
1.
1. I think that's what Mark has.
We play 11 games, right? 10 and 1. No.
Let's just call
No,
it
we
11.
play-
No, we play
We play 12.
We play 12.
We play
11
12.
and 1.
But we all lost it, right? Like Oklahoma was not in the Big 12 championship. It's all about like what are we doing from here?
Yeah, I know. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with Ryan's point. Ryan mentioned like, yeah, we'd be happy with 8-4, 9-3.
I said
What-
I'd be happy.
No, I know. And I'm using you as an example to show myself, right? So like at the beginning of this season, we were like, oh, hey, 10-2, 9-3, that'd be cool. And now we're here and I'm like, we should have been like 11 and 1 or something. Like we
Sure.
should have been better. So I'm telling you right now, because I know myself, we're going to be 5-0 heading into Texas, and I'm going to be on episode 145 of the Program Guys podcast or something, and I'm going to be telling you guys, this team is going to win a national title. Like this team,
We always do the
I know,
same
and
dance.
I'm telling you, I'm going to get there, right? Like it's not healthy, but this is why we do that. This is why we do it, right? Like we're sick in the head.
We're fans first.
Yes,
you know?
it's a vicious cycle. We get way too hype. We start trying to like have normal expectations, and then they exceed our expectations, and we're like, oh crap, this team's actually really good. You lose a game you're not supposed to, you lose another one you're not supposed to, and then you go into the offseason, you're like, what the hell? Okay, well, here's how we can get better. And then you tamper expectations again. It's literally that's what it is every single year right now. And I'd like to get out of that, but I don't know how.
Same.
We need like consistency. And I think overall at the end of the day, being in the SEC will help us play up to our competition. I
agree.
think we'll get there. But this team hasn't played a schedule like this since what, the Big 8 probably?
I think, yeah, since the actual like Big 8.
yeah.
I think that's a good analogy.
This is brutal. Like
I take it back. Red October in the early 2000s, back when
Yeah.
Nebraska was cooking with gas and Texas wasn't, you played Texas and who else they play in Red October? Did they play Texas Tech? Texas Tech were they good early on? I can't even remember. Regardless,
like mid
Great point.
2000s.
No,
to
you-
late
you-
2000s.
Crabtree years, baby.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I get what you're
But like
saying.
we're gonna play this like year in and year out, right?
Mhm.
Like this is gonna continue to happen, and this team, I think, is going to, and I'm hoping that they come out next year and they prove me completely wrong, right? I hope that they come out and they go 11 and 1 and all of that stuff. I just think that we are going to look at the schedule and go into these games and be like, yeah, we're ready. And then they're actually going to come and we're going to get punched in the mouth. And I think it's going to happen the back half of this season. The back half of 2024 is extremely difficult. And you get hit in the mouth one time and you just keep getting punched. Like you have that Bama game. Like what's going to happen at that Bama game? I don't know. Is it going to be close? I hope so. But say it's not. You have to turn around in 6 days and go to Baton Rouge. Crazy. Like with all those wild fans and how toxic that place can be. I mean, that's intense for a team that is not used to it, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying 8-4, and I'm gonna be okay with it if they can get to 8-4.
Let us know down below in the comments what you think of OU's first SEC season schedule. The entire schedule is out. Let us know down below in the comments. We love interacting with you guys. And give us your record prediction. Way too early record prediction for that as well. Okay, boys, let's wrap up the show with Program Guys PGP MVPs of the week. I want to start with you, Pat. Who's your MVP of the week, brother?
Yeah, I got the Frankfurt Eintracht. They beat Bayern Munich 5-1.
Hold on.
So
Frankfurt Eintracht.
What was that?
the Frankfurt soccer team beat Bayern Munich.
No,
5-1.
but say it again.
Frankfurt Eintracht.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Frankfurt.
Sorry. Frankfurt.
5-1. Just smacked them, baby.
5-1.
Okay, I like it. That's good. Liverpool top of the table in the Premier League. Shout out. Top of the table. All right, Ryan, MVP, brother.
Oh crap! I don't really have one, so I
got one. Go ahead.
I got one now. I'm gonna give mine. I just watched. Of course, I'm going movies because I'm watching a lot of movies right now. I just watched May December on Netflix. Loved it, and I gonna give my MVP to Natalie Portman, who I think is incredible in that movie. So
what a woman!
Yep.
What a woman. MVP to have.
What a woman. Mark, you got an MVP?
Yeah, I actually, y'all may know, I'm a Funko Pop guy. I just got myself a Padme Amidala.
there you go. Natalie Portman coming around.
I didn't know. What?
I just
don't
want
know
everyone
any of
to
that
know.
means.
My Natalie Portman doll is more important than Ryan's. So it's just, it's a big deal.
Okay.
It's a big deal.
All right, love that. My PGP MVP of the week, Porter Moser. Porter Moser and the OU basketball team.
That's
winning a good game against Arkansas.
It's like, yeah, I'm an OU fan still.
Yeah, I gotta remember that sometimes.
What? I can't talk about the Dolphins, how they choked on Monday night. We're not gonna do this. Porter Moser, my MVP. The Oklahoma Sooners remain undefeated for basketball. We didn't get to circle the wagons this week, but stay on hold because I want to know Oklahoma's basketball schedule.
Yeah, Porter Moser's been doing amazing.
They play North Carolina. When did they play North Carolina? Saturday?
We really have been missing Matt again on this.
Yeah, we have. So on Saturday, OU plays Green Bay. Oklahoma up to number 11, by the way. A week from tonight, when we're recording this, Wednesday, December 20th, Oklahoma against North Carolina. That's going to be a fun game. Exactly. Just give us a team to care about, and the people will rally around them. They're a lot of fun right now. That's a good win against Arkansas. OU won that game 70-79, and I promise you, it wasn't even that close. OU was up by like 20 at that point. They were smoking them. So support this team. Support Porter Moser. Get this guy a new arena. Oklahoma City just approved their new arena. Let's get a new arena in Norman for the boys.
They are doing a new arena. Have they approved it yet, though?
I don't know if they have.
Has it been like
That's
officially
approved? I don't think it's officially
They're going to
official.
put it on like I-35. That's a terrible idea, but
yeah,
whatever.
So that's my PGP MVP of the week, Porter Moser and the Oklahoma Sooners men's basketball team. Let us know down below in the comments who your PGP MVP of the week is. And gentlemen, with that, episode 101 is in the books. We thank you for joining us for this episode of the Program Guys podcast. You can always like and subscribe on this YouTube channel, trying to hit 2,000 subscribers. You can also follow us on all of our social media, Rosie. You can follow us on all of our social media at Program Guys with a Z. Also follow us on TikTok. TikTok's blowing up. Patrick's doing great work on the TikTok. You can
He's killing
find
it.
You can find us on programguys.com as well. Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all of that good stuff is where you can find us. Patrick, take us out.
Keep pushing it, baby.
We